The thoughts, views, expressions, and opinions of this podcast, as well as its hosts, are for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. We simply want to encourage, shed insight, empower, equip, and inspire those who listen. We are not trained professionals or claim to be. It does not constitute or take place of actual advice from your doctor or therapist. We hope you enjoy the show. Thank you. Okay.
I'm not actually supposed to be in front of the camera.
But you can talk because you're here as a buffer too. So the mic, we got 3 mics that'll pick up your voice.
I'm also booming, so that also helps.
Yeah, there you go. You're booming. But real quick, and I'm gonna apologize in advance in the event that it makes this a little uncomfortable.
Do it anyway.
Bro, so yesterday, after, is that my phone?
Yeah, that's your phone. Telling you airflow mode.
We did.
I did put April mode. My phone is possessed, guys.
So is mine gonna vibrate?
I shall bind the demonic principalities that are taking.
Oh wait, pause. I think I have to pee.
Do you guys? So as I tell my story, Nana is gonna go pee. So this is what happened. I told you off camera that I had a FaceTime conference with Diana and Nana, right?
Yes.
So we were talking and we had a great conversation. We talked what we're going to talk about today. So stay tuned for those who are listening in early.
If you put this part in.
Yeah, I will put this part in. So stay early. Stay to the very end because we're going to have real good conversation. So I hang up, bro. And, going over my notes. And then I do some reading because I do some light reading at night or whatever. That's like my routine, right? So I'm doing my light reading, yada, yada, yada. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, right? So I put my phone down, I'm doing my thing, and then I look at my phone as I'm gonna plug it in to go to bed. And I naturally would take it off Do Not Disturb in the event that somebody needs me at 3 a.m. I get to hear it and I'll be able to wake up, right?
Yeah, the 3 a.m. phone call.
Right, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? There's too many people in my life that matter to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't leave my phone on Do Not Disturb when I go to bed. So I'm plugging in my phone and I take it off Do Not Disturb, right? And then I get like a notification on Instagram. Okay, cool. I was curious who was DMing me because I get DMs, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a public platform. It's not my personal, I don't treat it as a personal account. It's my podcast. It's my business, essentially, right? So I'm checking the DMs, bro. Bro, it happened again. And you know what
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It happened again, bro. So this random person DMs me and starts talking hella crap. Like calls me by name, so clearly they know who I am. Or they've heard of me, or they see that my name's on the pod, right? Mm-hmm. And they start talking all this stuff like, oh, you're a heresy. You put a bad name to Christians. I'm like, yo, who are you, bro? And then they have like a random avatar with like 12 followers. And I'm like, bro, who are you? You're whack. You're a hater. Like, who are you? And then they start talking hella crap. And then they get into my like personal life. I'm like, yo, this person kind of knows me.
Did they bring up that one subject?
Oh,
so
yeah, but like they did mention my ex, right? But I didn't know if they were like for my ex or against my ex. You got to stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. So they were like talking, and then I'm like, are you for them, against them? Why are you talking shit to me? Like, why are you talking? You know what I'm saying? And then they were like taking subliminal shots at my ex. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know where you're going with this, but clearly you have a problem. And clearly you have way too much time.
You're looking for attention.
Yeah.
And so that's why you just ignore and block them.
Yes. So I did that. And I deleted. And I don't know why. And I'm stupid too because like I felt kind of dumb.
Did you reply?
Because I was engaging in conversation. I was like, yo, who are you? Because I really wanted to know who you were. And I really wanted to like kind of like probe who they were. Like how they were answering me would be like a telltale sign that, oh, it's probably this person because of the way they're texting, right? Or, but whatever. I deleted the whole thing. I was so angry, bro. And I'm just like, the devil's a liar.
The
devil's a liar.
That rando come in and bother you, bro? Like,
crazy.
The devil uses just the random things just to try to get you.
It was insane, bro. It was insane. And then the fact that they were bringing up my past. And it's just like funny how that usually works.
Did they bring up the current?
No.
Well, who cares?
Yeah, but that's still like, that really was kind of like frustrating because I really wanted to know who it was.
I mean,
and I know that they're watching because they clearly watched the show, and because they were saying some stuff that I said. Mm-hmm. They were commenting on things that I was saying. I'm like, I'm not entitled, but like I do have an opinion. You know, when I do speak up, when I do have an opinion, it is in a sometimes biased. You know, and I lean towards conservative. I lean towards my faith because I'm a follower of Christ. Mm-hmm. So I am going to be biased to certain topics. So they were like calling me a hypocrite. And then they brought some things up that I had said on a prior show. And I'm like, you're just going off a clip, a 35-second clip. Like, that's not what I meant. It was stupid.
All I have to say is that you got some haters.
Yeah,
you got some haters.
Yeah, for sure.
You must be doing something right.
Like, everyone just grabs onto like 10, 30 seconds of something.
Right.
I think it's like, that's all that person.
And I know people experience that too. Like, because, you know, I'm not a female, obviously. I identify as a male. So I'm sure with you girls, right? You girls sometimes get catty, right? Like,
absolutely.
Girls get catty.
Absolutely.
So in those situations, do you entertain it? Have you entertained it in the past?
I definitely have. I think it depends on what they say, because I'm just somebody that defends myself so much. Mm-hmm. So I feel like depending on what they say, people know me, you know me, I don't have to, explain myself to you. Mm-hmm. But it depends on what area you're stepping into, then okay, I will defend myself. Just because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's catty, maybe it's not. And I sometimes, yes, I shouldn't lower myself to your standards. Right. But I feel like this is me and this is who I am, and I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, because I'm right there with you, because like I subscribe to the, I guess, ideology that a unchecked lie will become truth. So if you don't check that lie, it's going to become truth. Like, I always go by that quote, and I don't know who said that quote, so don't ask me where I got that quote. But ever since I read that quote, like, an unchecked lie can become truth. So I always lean towards what you just said. Like, I always protect my integrity, my character. If I have to defend myself in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to do that because, number one, I'm on the platform, and I'm just not going to allow someone to run my name through the mud, because, again, and to me, in my eyes, in my opinion, an unchecked lie can become truth, because that lie, people can gravitate towards that because it's negativity. It's easy to gravitate. We live in a society that's upside down right now, and they gravitate to drama, to negativity, and all this other stuff. So, like, I would entertain it to a certain extent, but I won't get to a place where I'm going to lose sleep over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over some hater that has a problem to what I say, what I stand for, the opinions that I have on culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I do check it, and I make sure that I, address it here, because if you guys hear anything outside of this show about me, just know that it's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say about that. How about you? Have you ever had any haters in your life?
I have, and before, I used to kind of like make sure that they know the truth, but now I don't care, to be honest. I have been through so much drama the past 5 months that I'm just like, if you believe that I'm doing this, that I'm with this person, it is what it is. I'm not doing that, and that's all that matters. Right. I don't have the time to kind of explain myself, or it is what it is. Yeah,
you don't want to like overexert that energy on something that's going to waste your time.
And if I'm not like that, that's all that matters. I'm not going to start explaining myself anymore. I have done that for so many years, and it got to the point where, like, I don't care what you think anymore.
But you do want to correct some things, like
I do, but for what? You just trying to give them what they want.
No, I'm saying not necessarily you, but like, I know you a little bit, right? And I know that you have a son, and I know that you have a family. Right? And I know that you have great parents who are still together, to my understanding. So you don't come from a broken home. So if people are going to talk crap about your dad, your mom, or even your kid, I think you have the authority to correct that.
I mean, obviously, if they're talking about my kid, I'm going to go like bear mom. Like, I'm going to go ham. But if it's really about me, trust me, I have got to the point where, like, It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, because there's people out there that are just wicked, and they will use.
Why would you give them the time of the
Yeah,
day?
they will use like certain narratives too, and if they know that you have a son, they'll talk crap about your son, or your son is this and your son is ugly, or whatever the case may be. Whatever petty nonsense they'll spew at you to get. Because I think once they bring like certain things outside of who you are, like your family, your kids, things like that, they're just literally trying to get a reaction out of you, and they're trying to get you out of character. So I was very lousy at doing that. I would really get out of character and just like go crazy. But now it's more like, I'm not going to get out of character, but I am going to correct you, because you're not going to talk any kind of way about my kids. I don't have kids, but my brother's kids, where I'm from, I come from a Colombian immigrant family that migrated to this country for a better opportunity. So you're not going to talk about my family all types of crazy ways when half the stuff that you're spewing is not true. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like where I stand with like the hate that can come from social media, because social media can become such a wicked, treacherous, dark, if you don't know how to like navigate it well. So how do you guys like navigate through your social media presence? Like, do you really care, or you just post to just post?
To be honest, I don't care anymore, because like I be telling people for a very long time, social media is fake. Right. Like I could be posting that I'm at the beach and I'm actually at work. So like don't try to believe that we have this good life and that we're looking good all the time, because it's not true. Yeah, true. So I'm not gonna,
What about you?
Yeah. Honestly, I can say the same. I read messages, and I read it like it's any other message, and it goes above my head. Like I just feel like who knows me knows the real me, and I don't have to prove that to anybody. Exactly. My girls know me, my family knows me, and that's who I have to prove myself to at the end of the day. Okay. And I don't have to entertain whatever idea anybody has about me. And social media,
if you ain't paying my bills, I don't gotta explain myself to you.
And do you guys normally entertain DMs, or you just kind of like scroll through them?
No, like if I was to show you, I have like a
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We want to see all your DMs right now.
Oh, we'll have a blast.
You're gonna have a blast with all. So you wouldn't mind if Tyler read your DMs right now?
No. I will give you my phone right now.
Just make sure you don't.
I will give you my phone right now.
Don't read the names. Just read.
I promise I won't.
The text.
And you can go to the private one, so they're more like.
The private ones. Let's go.
Oh, these girls are brave. I like them already.
Listen, you get your phone. Listen, do you understand? I have like all the power now. Okay.
All right.
Where should we start?
But before we get into that, I want to leave the juicy stuff for now. I'm going to do some icebreaker stuff. I got some talk questions for you guys. It's a lot of pop culture stuff. So you guys love music, right?
Yes, we do.
You guys like all kinds of music, right? Salsa, reggaeton, vallenato. Okay, so
he was like going through all her shit. Oh, can I curse? Or no, try not to.
I already did, so I don't.
Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, we're real. Okay. Yeah, we're real. I wouldn't abuse it, but we keep it real. All right, so who's an R&B person here? I like R&B. I grew up in R&B.
Kelly.
I know like a little, like a tiny bit.
Do you like a little bit of R&B?
I do.
Like a little bit.
Okay, so do you remember early 2000s R&B, like B2K, Justin Timberlake?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna give you.
Sexy back.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's early 2000s.
Chris Brown, early Chris Brown.
For sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through some poll stuff. All right. So this is all right. So you'll go first.
Okay.
You go first. Chris Brown.
I can't even concentrate.
Ready? Chris Brown or Usher? You got to pick one.
I mean, I'm gonna say Chris Brown just because I heard more of Chris Brown when I was younger.
Okay. You?
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Okay. We're gonna stay with R&B. Are you gonna go T-Pain or Akon?
Akon.
I mean, I'll agree with her. I'll go with Akon.
Akon? Okay. Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna go reggaeton now. Oof. J Balvin or Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, for sure.
And they're Colombian, so they're being really non-biased right now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Not biased at all.
All right, we're gonna go old school, new school. So old school would be Evie Queen. New school for you guys is Carol G.
Carol G.
Carol G.
Hey,
Carol G is Carol G is thriving out here in South Florida.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Nicky Jam or Diego Calderon.
Tego Calderon.
Tego.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought you guys were gonna go with Nicky
No,
Jam.
I'll go
it's
with
more like
Tego.
old school. Yeah.
Okay, I got one more. Oh no, I got two more. Loyalty or respect?
Loyalty.
Well, she was quick on that one. Loyalty or respect? Loyalty? You gonna go with loyalty? Do you want to give a reason for the people watching and listening?
It's tough.
I mean, I feel like they both fall very much hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Let me just fix your mic. You're good though. You're
But
good.
I'm going to go with loyalty because I'm a very loyal person myself. And I expect to receive the same energy that I give.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good answer. Can you top that, Miss Nana?
I think I'll take respect because if you have respect for me, then you should be loyal. That's it.
Respect.
You should be
Yeah,
loyal.
yeah. I
You
see.
respect me. Why would you be on? You know?
Yeah, I think that.
Someone sent you a picture. Can I open it?
Wait, who is it?
I can't.
Is that a
I
hidden
don't wanna
request?
say the- I do not want to say the name.
Wait, is it like a private message? I can't
I
see.
can't see far away, so.
Well, I'm looking at it.
That's fine. Whatever.
Chick-fil-A nachos.
They sent her Chick-fil-A nachos.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What just happened?
We know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. If you were able to give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Stay strong. I don't know. What would you say?
I would say to my little younger self, you're capable of handling anything that comes your way. And don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone ever.
Wow, that's
a good
good.
one.
That's a good one. So now you got to top that. You can't copy that.
Wow. You got this. No, I was kidding.
No, seriously.
To
if
be
you-
honest, I just feel like
yeah.
I have always been like very strong, and I have been through so much since I was like a child. So it's like, just keep going. That's all I gotta say. Like, keep going. You got this.
Yeah, like stay strong, stay resilient. I think that's
Yeah.
important for sure. All right, Tyler, are you ready? Before we get
Bro,
started.
There's so many. I can't get through them all. There's so many.
So
Is
what's-
this what it's like to be a woman?
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Have these? Okay, I'm gonna be real. And if anyone likes their pictures or reacts to their pictures, stop. You
Just
look
stop.
So thirsty.
You're literally talking to yourself.
Unbelievable. One guy for one random thing for Miss Diana here says mine.
Mine.
Just
Who is that?
mine. What? She ain't yours, bro.
Wow.
Let's see here. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm pretty sure that says I am thirsty.
That's crazy.
Oh, look, there's a guy named Javier.
Abby.
No, he's fine. Okay. Oh, there's another picture. Oh. All right. That's. Who is this person? We can be besties at first. How's your day going?
Oh.
This dude has sent you voice messages?
Hey, no.
Cut.
That's
cut.
private.
Private. Okay.
No, that's a homie. That's a homie.
Oh, there's hold on. I found the good stuff. Here we go.
Okay, so do you guys ever like mute messages so you won't be bothered?
No.
You don't mute it?
I just don't look at them.
You just don't look at them?
Yeah. I'll
Got
go
it.
like a couple days and I'll check my hidden requests and I'm
Right.
like,
Them eyes though.
Okay, so in I don't know what your situations are, so I'm gonna say in previous relationships, right? I'll start first. So in previous relationships, in my certain situation, I've been in relationships where trust was never broken, and it was pretty healthy at first, and then it wasn't so healthy
At the end.
later on.
Yeah.
I think when you break trust, it becomes pretty difficult for you to have a presence in social media, because then everything is, oh, I saw her liking your stuff, and I saw and I saw that you. I don't know if you remember, but like back in the day, like Instagram would show people what you liked. Remember that?
Yes.
That caused a lot of issues on a lot of people's relationships. Like, why did you like that? I don't understand why'd you like that. And like, I was in a relationship during that time where Instagram didn't really have an algorithm. It just had this one page where it just showed your followers what you were liking. Like, it was the weirdest thing. And like, I was in relationships where it got to a place where I couldn't even be on Instagram because it would just be
too much drama.
An argument. You know what I'm saying? And like, for me to avoid having an argument with my girl at the time, I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to touch anybody's page. I'm not going to like any of my, because I have a lot of friends who are female, so I like their stuff. Like, I like your stuff. Like, when you post stuff, I like them. You know what I'm saying? But like, during that time, girls would post some stuff and I would like them, and then my girlfriend at the time would have a problem with that, and it would just get pretty crazy. So did you ever experience that?
Like, I did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just feel like it's a line of respect just because I know how women think. And I feel like if my man is giving like, you know, like a bunch of likes and they're not like friends that I know, I kind of feel like that person is going to feel like if you like it, you like what you see. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's, I don't know, I feel like it's a line of respect. And I feel like in my last relationship, we were like very good on social media. You know, he was okay with what I was doing, and he respected and I respected. But obviously, like you said, at the end, it kind of became an issue. But I think it's the whole, like, you know, we're not doing good, so that part is bad. Like, it's not good. Right. But
so when the dynamic changes, he will always revert to, oh, your social media.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, gotcha.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not anymore like, let me take a picture of you. It's more like you trying to post that for attention.
For attention, got it.
You know.
So do you think it's a double standard?
It is.
Absolutely.
For man, how do you you know, navigate through that? Why is it such a double standard for you, in your opinion?
I feel like for me, it's a double standard because, you know, like she said, I would very much be like, why are you liking the picture? You like what you see. Because me as a woman, if I know this girl's boyfriend is liking my pictures, I'll be like, girl, like her
that's
man is in my likes,
to be honest.
You know? And I feel like if it's a double standard, if I like a man's pictures, the man's gonna be like, oh, you like what you see? As opposed to him, it's like, no, like, you know, it's just a nice picture, I'm gonna like it. But for me, it's immediately like, oh, you want to talk to him, you want to be with him.
And it's not that we're being insecure or like we're trying to be jealous just because you like this girl. No, it doesn't matter. It's just the respect.
So you think because I've been around guys who will gaslight their significant other and revert to that. Like, oh, you're just insecure and you're not secure within yourself, and why are you bothering me about this, and aren't you with me, and aren't you, like, you know what I'm saying? So how, like, for me, I never went that way. Like, for the most part, it was more the girl like getting at me like, oh, I don't understand why you do the things that you do, because you know that that all they're doing is posting stuff for attention. But then turn around, she's posting stuff like when she's at the beach with her homegirl, and I'm like, well, you're not really going to the beach fully clothed. Like, you're literally in a bra. Like, let's call a bikini what it is. It's essentially a bra and panties, but they call it a bikini. So you're taking pictures in your bikini and you post it online, and you're not seeking attention, so why are you posting it? So it kind of goes both ways too. Like, because I would challenge my girl at the time. I'll be like, okay, so you have a problem with me liking my friends who you've known. You may not know them well enough because you met them through me. However, you know that I'm friends with them, and you know that they're either in relationships or not in relationships, but obviously they're my friends, so I like their posts. But you're saying that they're seeking attentions for the lust of the man's eyes, for example, because that's what she would use against me to make me feel bad. But then she'll turn around and be like, oh, I'm hanging out with XYZ and my homegirls are coming and we're going to Peter Island, and I don't feel like going, so I let her go, because I'm not a controller. At the end of the day, I'm not controlling. I'll let you do whatever you want. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? The minute you cross me, then we're gonna have a problem. But like for the most part, I'm pretty trustworthy. I extend grace, I extend love, I extend trust because I would want that to be reciprocated back to me. You know what I'm saying? So like when you turn around and say, oh, they're seeking attention, why are you doing that? You're falling for the thirst trap. Then why are you posting on your gram like your voluptuous self in a bikini? What do you like? You're doing it for what? To show other people, and that's to me seeking attention. So that's kind of where like the friction always lies between a man and a woman. It becomes like almost like a war amongst men and women. Like we're always warring against our own opinions, our own perspectives on things. Like what's moral, what's not. Me as a Christian, I try to like stay in the moral grounds of like, what does, you know, what would it look like if my pastor saw my page? Like if my pastor saw my page, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like to keep it real. Like if you're going to a church, right, and your pastor knows you, and you know the pastor, and the pastor knows your family, for example, whatever the case may be, and then he sees what you're posting on social media, like, is it going to be problematic? Would it raise an eyebrow? And if it does, then maybe you should kind of clean your presence up a little bit. I don't know. That's just kind of like where I stand with it. I don't know where you guys stand with it.
I mean, I feel like as women, you know, I feel like when we feel beautiful, we want to show that we're beautiful. You know, you're embracing your body, you're embracing yourself. I don't necessarily think it means like, hey, I'm looking for attention, let me post myself. I think it just means like, I look good, let me feel good. Yeah. I don't think anything is with malicious intent of like, oh, let me get DMs, let me be thirsty. I think it's just like, I look good and I'm going to show the world that I look good and I feel good. And that's a confident woman. Yeah, it is confident, but like a confident woman can be modest, right? Yeah. Where's that fine line though? Where is that fine line between modesty and like sexy, and then way too modesty,
sexy?
There's very much difference between modesty and a woman that's trying to be sexy. I think modesty is a woman who doesn't have to do much to show that she's sexy. And I feel like a woman who wants to show that she's sexy is out here posting herself in thongs and bras and her butt all up in the camera and her boobs. I feel like a woman who's modest and knows she's beautiful doesn't have to do that. At the end of the day, you're beautiful the way you are. You don't have to show your voluptuous self and your curves to get that attention from others. Yeah.
All right, so is there a fine line for you though? Is there a line, or if there is a line, if there,
even if you are covered or not, like you can still see the whole picture. Like I'm not posting here to get DMs because I don't need to post a picture to get a man's attention. I really don't. It's obvious.
No, but what I'm saying is, okay, so let me reword the question. Is if there is a line between what's acceptable as far as modesty is concerned, and being sexy can be classy. I think sexy, you can be sexy and classy. I just don't think that sexy and trashy.
But what's the whole point?
So where's the line though?
Like I was telling her earlier, I'm like, what's the difference of me posting a picture in a bikini and then having like an actress posting the same thing and even showing even more, but I'm the hoe. I'm the one who's trying to like post like this sexy pictures to get the guy's attention when it's not even like that. Because obviously that actress is not a hoe.
Well, we don't know that.
No, I'm sure she's not. I'm telling you, I know one model who shows like almost everything, and obviously social media is kind of fake. Yeah. But she seems to be like really happy with her husband. Her husband like supports her in everything that she does. She has a daughter, and when I see her like that, I'm just like, damn, like she loves her body, and that's how I feel. Like when I post a picture, it's like I love my body. I'm not here like let me post this picture just because my booty's showing or because I'm gonna get more likes. I don't care about that.
Yeah, for the record, I don't think that you post trashy pictures, and I don't think you. Well, I don't really know.
You haven't seen me.
I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you in action, but I don't want to come from a place that yes, I do identify as a Christian. I believe that there's a high like I dared myself to choose to live a Christian life. Does that mean that I'm perfect? Does that mean that I have it all together?
Of course
Absolutely not.
I'm a
No, but
Christian
yeah.
too,
But-
and I still post pictures like
Yeah.
that. But that doesn't mean that I'm like.
But I do feel that as a Christian, practicing your faith, being active in a church, serving the community, serving the church in any capacity, I think that you are held to a higher standard, and it is biblical to be held. Pastor Wyman over here would tell you that that there is a biblical standard that we need to abide by, and that's just the facts. Like we sometimes what happens is. When Christians nowadays subscribe to the whole modern way of thinking spiritual, like a lot of like new age spirituality starts to bleed into what the Bible or scripture would say, it turns into, oh, well, I don't like what the Bible says about this, so I'm not really going to mess with that. And I kind of like that because it's full of love and grace, and Jesus loves me, and you know what I'm saying? So, like, we tend to, because I've done it, so I'm talking to myself, like, we treat the Word of God like a buffet. I don't like this, so I'm not going to really pick at that. I like this, so I'm going to subscribe to that. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way, so I'm really not going to subscribe to that. When essentially the book, the Bible, the Holy Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, is literally a story of redemption, of us being wicked and God's enemy, where we're no longer that because of the sacrifice that was done on the cross. So that's good news for us. That's essentially the gospel. So we are held to a higher standard. So I just urge people and I encourage people to be mindful of that, because sometimes we do get lost in societal norms, right? It's okay to post things that you want to celebrate and embrace. It's just sometimes when I do see, and I'm not talking about you or you, but I do see women, because I pay attention, because this is my job to talk about culture. Like, I'm scrolling and I'm seeing Christian emojis, like the cross emoji, the purple cross emoji, and I'm a child of God. Only Jesus can judge me. But you have an OnlyFans page. So that's that's very, very hyperbolic to me, and it's very hypocritical. Where you stand on one front, where I'm a Christian, only God can judge me, and then you have an OnlyFans page. That is problematic, and to me, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna judge that person because maybe they don't really know who God really is, because that's not a godly woman in my eyes. So, I can't really judge you because I don't know you. I haven't had dialogue with you, and I don't know where your relationship with the Lord really is, if you really do have one. So I don't know if you guys are anti OnlyFans or for OnlyFans, but OnlyFans has become a thing, I feel, since COVID.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what you guys' opinion on OnlyFans.
I mean, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not against it. I feel like.
Why, you have friends that have OnlyFans?
I do.
Be real.
I do.
Be real.
I really do.
Hi, friend.
Hi.
We're not
to be
judging.
honest, I feel like I don't think it. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's. I don't know. I just feel like since I know them so well, I know that they're not this type of. Everybody that has an OnlyFans, they think that you're just this. Can I say the word hoe? Or too much?
Adult content creator.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if you could say porn in YouTube anymore. Can you?
Can you?
Is that being
Would they
monetized?
block it?
Wait.
The word porn?
The word porn?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Is it like blocked or monetized?
I don't know. Would they block the video?
So there are. I know for
there's
I
like
know
community.
Twitter has more lax rules. Instagram does have a section against nudity.
Yeah.
Nudity itself.
But I'm saying like the word, because
the word nudity.
because you
That's
can't
more so like.
because you can't say certain things on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen the.
YouTube, as long as you like, if I was to show certain.
Hi,
things
YouTube.
Immediate
I'm not trying to get blocked, and I'm not trying to get. I ain't trying to get copyright strikes neither.
No, if you say the words, like, you're fine. Now, if you're directed like, "Oh, I did this," and you're admitting to like a crime or something,
Yeah.
then they take issue.
Yeah, and I think you can't say the word. Yeah, you can't say that, and you can't say deletion of babies, like the A word to
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You could say-
No, you immediately.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can talk about it, but
You can't say the
we
word.
noticed you can't talk about it in a we support it in one direction
Right.
type of.
Yeah, but I'm
conversation,
careful about using the A word of deletion
Which is very smart.
because YouTube will mess up my algorithm.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
So, well, yeah. Anyway, so you have friends
So
that
yeah, I
have
do
OnlyFans.
have a friend, and she's amazing.
She's an
the
adult
sweetest-
content creator.
Yeah, she's the sweetest person ever, and she makes like over like 50,000 a month, and
Right.
I just feel like, I mean, you know, you gotta do what you have to do. Yeah.
But does that-
And
but
that
does-
doesn't change how I view her, and that's just what she does, and that's it. Like you said, obviously only God can judge me,
Right.
but that's her business, and
But I just feel like sometimes that's a cop out, and you're just using grace, the grace that we know God has for us, and we're. What did Doug say last week about grace? That
But it's
grace
like
is so good
drinking.
that.
So
It's
Chris,
like-
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, I'm saying, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I mean, I feel like we use it so much as an excuse to be able to just kind of do whatever we want.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's okay. God just still loves me. I will still be forgiven. It's like, no, that's not the point of it. But we become this grace addicted culture because people want to just live the way they live,
Right.
and just want an excuse to continue living the way.
Right.
Just falling to pride and not
Yeah.
wanting to fix
Yeah.
themselves, not admitting or throwing themselves at the feet of Christ, when like, hey, I have sinned against you.
But it's like drinking. Like my pastor, he was saying like a lot of people don't want to become a Christian because they feel like you can't drink, you can't, you have to dress like very cover up with like
Right.
skirts, and I feel like that's
That's
not
not
it. Or maybe
Christianity.
I'm in the wrong church.
And we're
or
gonna get to
something,
that.
That's
But
not what
like
it says.
my parents are very Christian. They still
Yeah.
get with all their church friends, and they still have their little drinks in there. But as long as you don't do it with like
Yeah.
to like really get messed up and
lose
do
control of your
yeah,
body.
don't lose
Yeah.
control. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're not being.
I'm
the
so glad
Christian
that I
you're
have a
supposed
pastor
to
in the room
be.
because we could always revert to you.
Yeah.
But so yes, guys, it's this is what we're going to be talking about. So welcome. I'm gonna do the intro now.
This is the beginning.
That was just the intro, guys.
Whoa.
So I hope that you guys are sticking around to
It's like a
the
sermon.
to the
20
to the very 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 end because it's gonna get nice and spicy and juicy. But this is episode 80, guys. The big 80. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button on Spotify. Please share the Spotify links. It helps with the algorithm on Spotify. I'm available on pretty much all digital platforms. And I'm here with two beautiful people. Nana. I'm going to call you Nana today because we have a Diana and a Diana combination. So we have Nana.
Diana, yes? No, the other one.
The other one.
So we have Diana and we have Diana. But we're
Diana.
going to call you Nana. We're going to have
Diana.
Diana. And they're here. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about literally what we just covered on the intro. And then we're just going to talk about some healing. Like how is it that we in 2023 are we being more mindful of our mental health? How are we going to heal from certain things, for certain traumas, certain scars that we might have gotten along the way with living life, whether it was in your childhood, whether it was in toxic relationships. We're going to talk all of that, guys. So because we're going to talk about all that, and I know that's what you guys want to hear, please stick around to the very, very end. Don't just fast forward. You're going to miss on some good stuff. We're also here with Pastor Tyler Wyman. He's in the building. And we're going to kind of lean on Tyler's wisdom today in case I get stuck on certain things. But yes, episode 80, I'm super excited to have this episode because it's kind of like I'm making a pivot to talking more about what we experience in the real world. I mean, I like talking about Bible. I like talking about mental health, and which we are going to touch on today. But I felt like a lot of people have been DMing me like, hey, why don't you talk about relationships? And why don't you talk about like the struggle to be dating out here? Because it's really...
Talk about that every episode?
But they still DM me because we do get biblical sometimes, and it does somewhat turn into a Bible study. And some people just want to come out of that Bible study ecosystem and really have raw conversation. So like last week, me, Doug, and Tyler, we had really good conversation.
Was it really last week?
Yeah, a week ago, right? It was a week ago.
Time flies.
Yeah. So yeah, like I just want to pivot to more of a more mature adult conversation, and and just keep it in that vein. So we talked about relationships a little bit, but we're gonna take a little bit of a deeper dive as to what it is. And Tyler's in the back, and you're distracting me.
I'm sorry.
But what was I saying? Oh, so a deeper dive into like relationships, how we navigate, what we've learned from experiencing certain relationships. Obviously, exes are exes for a reason. How do we navigate out of that? How do we transition out of being in a committed relationship to now being in the marketplace of the dating community and the singleness community? Is it hard? Is it something difficult for us? For me, it is very difficult. It's not like we're in high school where it's like, oh, I like you and you like me and we like the same stuff, and oh, you like the same kind of music. Oh, let's be together. It was very innocent when you're in high school. Even when you're in your early 20s, very innocent. You're still trying to figure life out in your 20s. You're still even trying to figure yourself out and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with Nana first because she loves going first, as you can tell. Giving me that scolding look like, why do I got to be first? But yeah, so dating, right? Dating could be a good thing, and it could also be a very toxic thing. Yeah. So how is dating a very good thing? Let's start there.
Well, to be honest, I have been single for the past 5 months, and it has been a little tough, just because I was in a relationship for like a little more than a year and a half.
Was that your longest relationship?
No.
Okay.
It was my son's father.
Oh, okay.
And to be honest, like after a breakup, and I try to go out there or whatever, not to like meet people, but just go out there. And I started to realize that people nowadays, they don't make anything official. Like they just want to talk for like a long time and to see if they're actually like compatible or whatever they want to call it.
Right.
And they're okay with like sleeping with each other, and I'm not used to that.
Right.
I'm used to the fact I'm used to like talking to somebody, and then like a month later they know to like make it official, or I'm gonna be out because you're not gonna be like having my time. You're not gonna be. Yes, of course. To be honest, I'm telling you, this is new to me. The fact that people just want to talk for months and months and then make it official, like that's not me. I'm sorry. I want to be taken seriously, and if you want to talk to me and see if you want this, it's just not for me.
Okay.
You either know what you want something serious, even if it's with me or not, but I want to make sure that you know what you want. And I'm not here to sit down and like sleep with you for so many months and then you decide, no, this is not for me, and then I wasted a bunch of months. Yeah. That's just not me. That's something new for me though. I think it's normal nowadays, but
yeah, society is definitely.
That's the reason why I'm still single.
No, and we're going to touch on that because I do feel that society is a little bit upside down when it comes to morality, when it comes to Judeo-Christian morals. I think, especially here in the United States, we are ripping away God out of everything, like God away from the schools, God away from government, even God away from XYZ. I think the more you take God away of stuff is where you start seeing more of the wicked stuff, like, the trans stuff that's going on with the schools and kids being... Tyler's giving himself the Holy Cross because it's scary. It's scary that,
it is.
And nothing against the trans community or the gay community, because I have gay family members who I love very dearly. But when you're dealing with kids and presenting that to children who don't know any better, they're very innocent. They have impressionable minds. They can get easily confused. So we do live in a upside down society where things are just really kind of jacked up. But you also, I think you're single. Is she single?
She is single.
Okay,
yes.
she's single.
Super
guys.
single.
I'm single.
Super single.
I'm super single.
Super single.
Yes.
Super single. So, how's it been when you were dating, and how is it when you're in the season that you're in right now? So let's start with your dating, your relational life.
Yes.
However much you want to share.
Yeah. So you mean like when I was in a relationship?
When you were in a relationship, what was your experiences like?
Yeah. So I mean, from my last relationship, so I've been single for a year, a little bit over a year. You know, when I'm in a relationship, I'm very committed. I'm very loyal, very submissive, very much all about, you know, it's me and my partner, and we're gonna get to the goals that we both want to get to. And unfortunately, things didn't go the way that I wanted it to. Nonetheless, I believe that what we lived was beautiful when it was our time, when it was our moment. Yeah. But, now that I'm single and I went through what I went through, I feel like everybody goes through those moments of, betrayal or cheating or, those kinds of things. I feel like a lot of people put up with things that they shouldn't have to out of love. But I feel like now when you're single, it's a whole new world. You're not with this person anymore that you love so much and you saw your whole entire life with. I feel like when you're alone, so I should say, it's a new world, and you're thinking like, okay, you start comparing this person to the new people that you're dating. But the good thing is that you know what you want and what you don't want. And I feel like the most important thing now when you're dating is as soon as you see a red flag, don't ignore it. Because that's the
you hear that, ladies?
Don't ignore the red flag.
You hear that, ladies?
Listen to your mama.
Yes.
Okay. And they're always right. They're always right.
Mama's intuition.
Most of the time.
Mama's intuition. You gotta love those Colombian mamas.
Absolutely.
So continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I feel like, once you go through those things, for your future relationship, you know what you want from your partner, what you have to offer, and the things that you've learned. And I feel like that's so important into molding you into the woman that you're supposed to be for your next partner. And I feel like now in today's world, I can agree with what Nana says. A lot of men, a lot of women are okay with just, I'm going to date you. We can go out here and there. We can sleep together, but that's it. But no, there is women like myself, and I know what I want and I know what I have to offer. I'm not just going to waste my time with anybody because I know where I'm trying to be, and I don't have time to waste. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think that is very, very key, especially like I always tell people who, because we all been through breakup. I've been through breakups. Tyler has been through breakups. Obviously, all of us in this room have been through breakups. It's how we deal with the aftershock, like the after effects of a breakup. It's literally how we navigate through that. So what I've learned through my fair share of breakups and my fair share of walking in that season of my life is that as I got older and I went through a breakup, I kind of came to a place where I embraced my singleness. Like I didn't need to go out and be out there in the dating pool. I didn't need to go out and start DMing a whole bunch of women to get their attention. I didn't feel the need to do that. And I also used that opportunity to really know who Javi is. Like I wanted to really know who am I,
you have to.
Love myself, as I got older and I matured more in my faith, I even went as far as getting closer to the Lord. Yeah. Like not to get super like hyper spiritual or anything like that, but it was something like, yo, if I'm attending a church pretty regularly, right? Because I do attend a church pretty regularly, and I do serve at a church, and I do believe in the power of the local church. If you're not plugged in a local church, I would urge you to get plugged in a local church because there's power in that. I mean, there's things that you are going to discover through other people. Other people are going to celebrate you and champion you and pray over you in certain seasons of your lives. And I know that because of a healthy church community that I was a part of, going through those seasons of my life, because I dealt with suicidal thoughts. I dealt with mental health. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to walk in darkness. So like when I found myself in a really tough season where obviously I was heartbroken, and for men, it's hard to be rejected. Like we take rejection pretty hard because we're men. Like we are the providers, we are the alphas, we are the guys that want to lead and want to lead correctly, right? Want to do the things with integrity and with character, with love and with grace, like and apply these biblical principles to your life and your relational life. So when I found myself single, when I thought I had the one that I could potentially marry, I was in a dark place, but the difference is I didn't revert to the world where I'm going to go clubbing and I'm going to go get high and I'm going to go get drunk and I'm going to go sleep around to numb the pain. I literally ran and sought after the Lord. Like the Bible says, seek refuge in me. He will make you feel good. Like you will find peace that surpasses your own understanding. And I've tried Jesus, and Jesus worked for me. And my only prayer is that I hope Jesus can work for the person that's listening right now on YouTube or on Spotify. And I hope that it works for you guys too, because I want you guys to have a net positive result versus a net negative, because being in the dark, being in the world is counterfeit. It's very, through my experience, living in the world, doing whatever you want with no parameters, it's fun. Let's just be honest. Sin wouldn't be sin if it wasn't fun. I'll be real with you. I'll keep it a buck. Like, sinning is fun, but it's detrimental to your spiritual health, because it's all connected to your physical, it's all connected to your mind, it's all connected to your mental. So for me, I can't seek temporary pleasures for the sake of feeling good, because it's just going to leave me empty.
Right.
Well, I did a little bit of mix of both. I actually got closer to God, but then I also went out. And I have noticed that every time I was going out at the end of the night, I was pretty much heartbroken.
Did you feel empty though?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But
That's
I went out
usually how I felt.
more as in okay, well, my friends are going out, let's go have a good time. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel that comes with the double standards, that once a couple breaks up and then a guy goes out, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But once a girl goes out, then it's you're this, that word. Putita, yeah. You're this hoe, or you're out there trying to get attention, and you're really, I wasn't really doing that. But then again, I was still going out, and maybe that wasn't the right thing to do, but then again, that was part of the process.
Yeah,
it wasn't let me go out because I want to try to get a man. That I don't need that. There's no need for that. There's no me going to the club just to find men. I could just find men down the street.
She said it, not me. Pastor Wyman. So yes. So I think that it's more of a net positive.
But I did get closer to the God. I did get closer to God,
okay.
and I just feel it had helped me a lot, because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And like you said before, in my past relationship, I feel my first love, it got to the point where we were broken up, and then like you said, I had suicidal thoughts, and I did ended up at the hospital after taking so many pills. But I learned from that, because nowadays I'm just wait, I don't feel anything for this guy. Why did I even try to commit suicide over somebody that I don't feel everything is temporary. Whatever pain you have right now, you won't have it later.
Right.
Whoever you love right now, you might not even love that person later. So
right.
it's it's part of the process. As long as you understand that it's part of the process, then you should be okay.
Yeah,
deal with the pain now. It's normal. You're gonna be sad, you're gonna be depressed, you're gonna cry, you're gonna do crazy stuff that you might regret later, but it's part of the process, and you're just gonna grow as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna add, I feel healing is definitely not linear. If you think it's linear, it's a lie.
Yeah.
But I definitely much agree. I feel at least for me, after my breakup, I spent a lot of time with my friends, reconnecting with my friends. And I feel I'm so grateful and thankful for my friends, because I feel my friends helped heal a heart that they didn't break.
Yes.
And I'm forever grateful for my friends. And I feel like she said, at the end of the day, I think it's okay for a woman, just like a man, to want to go out and enjoy herself and have a few drinks, go to dinner with the girls. Yeah. By no means does that mean I'm trying to go out and get attention and talk to a man, because at the end of the day, that's not what's on our mind.
Right.
You have fun. At the end of the day, when I get in my car and I turn on the music, I'm still sad, I'm still lonely.
Yeah.
And for me, God helped me a lot, and for me, it really spoke to me in a sense that I wouldn't be so sad and I wouldn't be suffering so much if God made this person for me. If I'm suffering so much, God doesn't want me to be with this person. And as much as I prayed for this person to be for me, and as much as I wanted this person to be everything for me, God kept showing me time and time again, this person is not for you. How much more can I show you? How much more can this person hurt you? And I feel it takes for you to go through these situations that are so tough on you, that takes such a toll on you, and it takes something for you to just click all of a sudden to just be like, you need to let go and let God. And that's what I learned in my last breakup.
Amen.
Just let go and let God.
Hey.
That's amazing.
Let go. Yeah, and I think that, you know, because we are like talking about Christianity and how we identify ourselves and stuff like that. I'm a Christian first. Yeah. Like, and then I'm Colombian, and then I'm a man, and then all this other stuff. But for me, it's like I'm a Christian first, and I don't believe that going out, like how you articulated that, I don't believe that's a sin. Yeah. And I don't believe that you going out after a breakup and you want to hang out with your friends and you want to go for a couple of drinks and go to the nightclub or whatever the case may be. I don't think that's a sin. I honestly don't. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I feel that everyone is in their own journey. Everyone has, like, your convictions are different than mine. You know, whatever may convict you may not really move me. Whatever may convict me, you may not understand. Like, I think we serve such a powerful, all-knowing, sovereign, loving, gracious God that he meets us where we're at in our convictions. You know what I mean? Like, so if you do want to seek, you know, a place of a safe haven, if you will, right? A safe haven is what? Hanging out with your friends that support you, that champion you, that want to pick up the pieces and make you whole again. You know, that could even pray for you. I don't know if you have friends that pray for you, but I have friends that pray for me. So those are the friends that I want to keep around my circle, not the ones that are always looking for a good time. If they sleep with a dude, they sleep with a dude. Tomorrow's another day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's a net positive. I'm more so like, okay, I'm dealing with a breakup. I can't be a caveman either and just like be in the fetal position the rest of the time that I'm dealing with the breakup. I gotta get up. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta get right. I gotta eat healthy. I have to drink my water, you know, things like that. All these little things like drinking your water, staying hydrated, you know, staying groomed. Like, as far as you men out there that are listening, like, guys, like, I understand that Shorty broke up with you, you loved her, you were in love with her, and now you're not with her anymore. Like, get up. You know, don't sit on your hands. Like, go to church. If you were going to church, go to church. There's no need for you to stop going to church, blaming God, blaming other people, blaming everything that's outside of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always encourage dudes to get haircuts. You know, a haircut's such a powerful thing for a guy. And Tyler knows. And we come to the shop, and we got the shop here, and there's great barbers.
What's the address?
PJ's Barbershop. I'll put the links on the description below.
Please follow.
But yeah, like with women, I think, yes, if you want to feel pretty, go ahead and get dolled up and have a girls' night out.
Look good, feel good. Live by that motto.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, I don't think it's honestly, I don't think it's a sin. I think everything in moderation is pretty much okay with my convictions. Like, I know that God knows my heart, and I know with moderation, I think things are navigated correctly. It's when you get out of those parameters where you're doing these things where it's where it might hinder you, and it might not be such a positive impact on your life, because then you're finding yourself getting drunk every weekend.
Yes.
And you're you know, soaking in your sorrows and weeping, and it becomes like a mental anguish where you don't want to be in that mental space. You guys want to just be out and about and doing it the right way. So I think that's very important for all of us to kind of like. I always would tell people, love yourself first, and then when you are ready to be in the marketplace to start dating, pursue that, because I don't believe that God wants us to be alone forever. I think He created Adam and Eve for a reason. Yes. We are created to have community, yes, but we are created to procreate. Yeah. And so I believe that God did invent sex. I think sex is a good thing in a covenantal relationship.
He didn't say go and make disciples of all nations. He didn't exactly say how.
Right. But he did, if we're going to talk Genesis, right? Adam and Eve, He made Adam and Eve, and He wanted them to be fruitful. What does that look like? Well, it looks like them mating and making babies. That's how you live a fruitful life. I think when sin came into the picture, it perverted sex, right? So the devil, what was meant for good and what was meant for our enjoyment, because sex was created by God. It was created for us to not only procreate, but also enjoy it. Like, we're the only species that actually enjoys having sex. All other species do it because it's embedded in their DNA for them to keep the bloodline going. So we'll look at lions, right? They mate with the strongest male because they want to keep that bloodline strong. We don't operate that way. We're not animals. We are mammals, but we are not animals. And I think when it comes to sex, it's a very slippery slope sometimes because it can be very uncomfortable, especially when you identify as a Christian. We're always told from Sunday school, right? When we were kids, like, you can't have sex before marriage. It's a sin, and this and that. So how do you guys feel about premarital sex? Who wants to go first? You went first last time, so
I'm sorry.
I mean,
will you wear a white dress in your wedding?
yeah, I will.
You will?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's thing.
That after you have sex, you have to wear like nude
No,
and not white.
but there's a thing, like, you can be a born again virgin, right? Pastor, help me. Help me.
There is a mentality that obviously when you are in God, you are become a new creation.
Right.
And people apply that to individual sections of their life. Some people do it for like dating life, this, for that. It's meant to be taken as a whole, like whole new creation, new creation in its entirety of what God originally intended for it. It's not kind of what the original intentions were behind that. Now, when it comes to like being a born again virgin, that one's a little. It's just a little weird because I think we use so much of a modern type of mentality. But I also think in a weird way that's kind of a cultural thing, because back then, once a woman was, I don't know really how.
Deflowered.
There we go.
We're gonna go deflowered.
When a woman was deflowered, with, let's just say by a certain act that was not wanted on behalf of the one party. I'm trying to be very careful with my words.
Yeah.
When I say this. Basically that they want to get married to the person who did this unspeakable act to them, because in the eyes of the culture, they had lost essentially their value.
Right.
They didn't have any more value because they were not pure anymore.
Right.
They were not pure anymore because they were so clamped down that. And I think this might come back on me. I think in a way that's something our culture has lost in a way. Not like, do I think there's some unhealthiness to that? Absolutely, 110%. But when it comes to us applying that to more of our sexuality, being a born again virgin, like, it's great I applaud anyone who wants to kind of like, so you want to start over. From now, I am mentally different, because even as a youth pastor, I kind of did that. I'm like, hey, like right now we're gonna hit the reset button, right? Y'all accepted Christ, we're hitting the reset button. I just think we shouldn't allow it to, not saying excuse what we did in the past. Obviously, we want to learn from it. You have learned from it if you're at this point. I just think it's healthy to kind of be able to accept it. Yeah. Be able to kind of essentially live with it in a way. But also just know that ship has kind of sailed. But it's not all about purity. Right.
Yeah, but
of course we talk about purity culture, but like,
yeah, I think purity culture was definitely a narrative that was pushed that kind of scared Christians away. Because I felt like the purity culture was trying to scare them straight, but it really didn't. It did the opposite. It did the opposite effect. So now it's like Christians are just like, like out of ignorance, I guess, if you will, because we live in the culture that we live in. Yeah. As long as I'm with one partner and I'm not living a promiscuous life and I'm sleeping with 10 other people, then I'm okay because I'm only sleeping with one partner. But at the end of the day, like, one partner or 10 partners, God still sees that as a sin, right?
How many times do we can hit the reset button and we still live the same way?
Yeah. So I think that's difficult. It's difficult for everyone. I mean, we live in a hypersexualized society where everything is in your face. Like even like I forget what commercial I saw. I think it was a T-Mobile commercial, and it was literally a woman with a phone, and she was like in a spaghetti top with like her cleavage out, and I'm like, really? You're trying to sell a phone? And it's so everything's so sexualized, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely in our face. So we do get numb to it, and we do kind of fall victim to the culture that we're part of, and some.
Side question, ladies. Does that like work on you? You know how like they make commercials where you're like hypersexualized, like obviously.
No.
Does it work the opposite way? Like if they put like a really
I mean, if anything, it's a little bit like uncomfortable. Like, why did you have to do all that? Like,
Yeah.
Like for us, it's not. I feel like it's completely different when it comes to like you seeing a woman, but us seeing a man and seeing them naked is just like.
For what?
That doesn't do anything.
If anything, it's not even like
Because I think my therapist would tell me this too. Like so there's a book called Men Think Blue, Women Think Pink, and my therapist kind of like spoke on that book. He was just like, hey, it is true that men are definitely wired different than women. Women are more emotional creatures. Men are more visual creatures. Yeah. So because men are more inclined to, because we do live in the United States. In the United States, it's a capitalistic, capitalism reigns supreme here. So they know they need to cater to the male demographic because 9 times out of 10, they're the ones paying the bill. They're the ones that are providing. They're the ones that are the consumers, quote unquote, right?
Not in 2023.
Not to say that obviously women do buy their own stuff, but overall in the macro level, I think the reason why sex sells is because traditionally men gravitate to that, and they want to buy the fast car, they want to buy the latest phone, and they gravitate to those things because visually they see a very pretty woman as a salesperson, as whomever, and they want to engage in that and then sold a product. That's kind of how that works. You know what I mean?
I did that at Chick-fil-A. I picked like one of the pretty girls that would work with me, like you, on the window.
Yeah.
You made more sales.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
It is true.
It's just what it is. Like so premarital sex is a sin. Obviously, I'm not a virgin. We're not virgins in here, but I am trying to live. But I am trying to live a pure life. I want to be in my purity. It's hard as heck. Yeah. I'm not even gonna front.
It also has to do with like loving yourself, respecting yourself, knowing your value, because I feel like before for me was like, somewhat easy because I didn't love myself. But now growing up and like knowing how much like I'm worth, then it's like, no, just because I love you doesn't mean I'm gonna sleep with you. Right. If there's no purpose in between, it's just. And this
is not. I'm gonna ask both of you guys a question, and I promise it's not a trick question.
Okay.
I promise. So, do you guys see yourselves in a healthy relationship and willing to do the work, willing to submit to the Lord and be pure and wait till marriage? Do you see yourself in that mental space where you can genuinely say, you know what, I tried it all the other ways. Like I tried, living this way. I try to live a moral life, quote unquote, based on culture. We're all trying to fit the puzzle, right? We're trying to always fit this puzzle piece into the picture, and it doesn't quite fit. And we always find ourselves failing in that area of our lives. Have you genuinely thought, maybe if I really do submit to Jesus, maybe if I do apply what Jesus does say in those scriptures, do I find myself being in a healthy relationship, seeing a potential spouse who I can marry and wait till marriage for having sex? Can you find yourself in that space?
To be honest, I don't think so.
Okay.
I know that's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. But to be honest, I just feel like nowadays it's just very hard because I feel like for a lot of people, sex is not like a big thing, but I feel like it is important in a relationship. Before it wasn't for me, but I feel like now it is. And obviously, I don't want to just sleep around with whoever I
Right.
date. But then again, I'm not trying to just date anybody. Like, if I'm going to date you, if I'm going to make time for you, if I'm going to, like, open up myself to you, then it's because I actually want a future with you. Because I want to end up with you. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen. But those are just my intentions. And I would be lying to you if I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, if I meet somebody, yeah, we're not going to have sex till we get married. It will be nice. That's the right thing to do.
Right.
I know that's the right thing to do. But if I'm going to be real with you, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get to marriage and then, like I said, it's not important. Maybe it's coming out wrong. But.
No. I mean, that's everybody's struggle. I think everybody wrestles with the idea of like, man, it'll be nice if I can wait until marriage because then I have the rest of my life having all the fun sex and greatest sex ever with my partner who I'm completely in love with.
Is it really going to be great sex though?
If you're completely in, I've talked to couples before in my church. If you're completely in love with your partner and you went to that mountaintop of getting married, you're gonna have amazing sex. Because I asked a buddy of mine, and I'm not gonna use his name because I didn't ask if I could use his name. So I asked a buddy of mine who's happily married, who goes to church, who's active in church. His wife is currently serving at a church. And I asked him, I was like, because, he's a good friend of mine. So we were talking about this conversation, like the whole premarital sex stuff. He was like, bro, like I would have sex back in the day with either randoms or just girls who I'm dating. And I thought that was like the ultimate high, like the dopamines are released out your brain because that chemically something happens to our bodies and our brain when we experience that type of euphoria, right?
Yeah.
He told me that all the girls that he's been with in the past, in comparison to making love to his wife who he sacrificed for, that is willing to sacrifice for, that he is completely in love with and went to that mountaintop of marriage, like he says that there's no words to describe the kind of sex that he has. And I'm like, that's kind of like what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want something that's counterfeit. I think that premarital sex, when you engage in that, because I've engaged in it, we all have, I feel that that's counterfeit. It's not like the real deal because, again, I feel that God did create sex for us for our enjoyment, but as long as it's in the confines of a covenantal relationship, which is a marriage, unfortunately, because of sin and because of the devil perverting that, it's what it is today. There's OnlyFans pages. There's adult content out there for children to even see. There's people that are having unplanned pregnancies and now they're deleting babies. You know what I'm saying? There's people that get involved in a sexual relationship and now they're no longer in that relationship and they're deleting themselves by, drinking, doing drugs, overdosing, whatever the case may be. So I don't think that premarital sex is a net positive in your life. I think it's the total opposite. And again, I'm not perfect because I've fallen in that area. I don't have it all together, but I know that when I'm in a relationship now, like I want to get to the altar as pure as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know that God designed us to enjoy the fruits of what sex was intended for. And I think that living out a life where, I just feel that, it's part of the culture. Everyone's doing it. But I'm in a point, I can only speak for myself, obviously.
Is that what you're doing in your new relationship?
Yes, that's
now?
that's what I'm doing now. So it's like, all right, so we definitely need counsel. We definitely need parameters. We do set rules and regulations. Like we're adults at the end of the day. And I think, and Tyler too, I think that sleepovers is a no-go. So there's no sleepovers. And do we have fun? Absolutely. Tyler, you can even speak on that.
Do you really need a sleepover to have sex?
I mean, it helps. It's actually it's actually a parameter that would help you and guide you to the chances of you getting intimate in that way. I mean, me and my girl do get intimate. Like, we have intimate conversations. We do have quality time. We hold hands. We hug. We kiss. We have very intimate conversation about all aspects of life including our faith, because we both share our faith. She's obviously a Christian. I'm a Christian. So is it difficult? Absolutely. Have we had close calls? Absolutely. But then I have guys like Tyler that I can go to and be like, yo, bro,
I'm gonna have to call Tyler
like,
next time.
you need to pray over me. We need to go out for a drink and we need to go somewhere and talk. You know what I'm saying? So like, so I think it's who you're also plugged in with. Like if people are going to enable that lifestyle, then you are going to fall and you are going to mess up. And then you're going to find yourself like, oh man, did I really need to sleep with that guy? Or damn, like now the relationship's kind of going in a different direction now that we introduced sex. And now it's kind of different. You know what I'm saying?
So let's bring in the question.
How are we with time?
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
So let's bring in the question now. Ready for this? Does body count matter? Have fun.
Well, like I said, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters to me. I just feel like whatever happens before me, it's none of my business. Just like it shouldn't be your business what I did before you. And I don't know. To me, I don't really care.
Okay. Wait, before you go to the body count, like how do you feel about premarital sex? I don't feel like you had the opportunity to speak on that.
I mean, to be honest with you, that's not really something that I would practice just because I feel like that is such an important aspect of your relationship before you get into the marriage. That's just me personally, because I feel like in today's society, it's very important to know, like, do you check this box and this box and this box before I'm fully going to commit to you and spend the rest of my life with you. So I think that's something very important for me. It's all about a connection. It's love, for me, that's very intimate and that's very important. So that's not something I'm going to practice me personally. Okay. So that's where I stand on that. But in regards to body count, I think body count is a double standard. I think if a woman's body count is too high, she's a little putita. But if you're a guy, if your body count is up here, oh, it's normal, I'm a guy. But for me personally, I feel like Nana said, I can't control what you did before me. I just think my requirements, if I know what you've been doing and who you've been with, I just ask that you go get tested as I will. Make sure you're okay. And as long as you're with me and this is what we're doing, I just need to make sure you're okay, you're good, and I'm good. And that's what matters.
Okay. Yep. What do you feel? I don't know if you guys done your research, but because Tyler has done some research, I've done some research. The empirical data that's out there, which is a real thing. You can go on the websites and for women especially, the higher the body count. I hate using that term, body count, because the website doesn't use that term. The website uses the more sexual partners that you have, the more likelihood that the woman's going to experience a divorce. Because essentially, we all, for the most part, the majority of the times we are bound to get married and have kids, right? Yeah. That's just the majority. Are there outliers out there that they're going to stay, single forever? I actually know people that are 57 years old right now, today in 2023, has 0 kids and 1 partner, and they broke up with that partner and they've never been with anybody else. That's just the life that they took. That's the outlier. It's not more of a common normality when it comes to, the demographic that we're talking about. So the empirical data does show statistically if a woman's body count is past 6, because average is between 4 to 6 on the sexual partner gauge, I want to call it, right? So they're saying that anything past 6 sexual partners for a woman, statistically, you're already in the red, where you statistically may not be able to connect or parabond. I don't know if you ever heard of the terminology parabond, but because we subscribe to spirituality, like we are spiritual beings, I believe that when you do have intercourse with someone, it's not just a physical thing, it's also a spiritual thing that you're connecting with. So if the more entanglements that you have, the more of a lesser chance you're going to be able to successfully parabond with someone to have a successful relationship and courtship that would lead to a successful marriage. So like where do we stand there as far as the data?
I mean, I feel like, you know, when you're young, when you're younger, you know, early 20s,
Younger.
you know, I feel like, you know, you're still experimenting, you're still growing as a person,
Right.
and, you know, you just want to live all these things. I feel like when you're younger, you don't really know what you're doing, and I feel like the people who you encounter and the people who you're with, that they don't necessarily mean anything all the time. They're just bystanders, you know, they were just experiences.
Right.
And I feel like as you get older, as I was talking about earlier, you know what you want. But I don't think that if you're surpassed 6, I don't think that you're a walking red flag. I don't think that you're not worthy of being in a relationship, a healthy relationship, or a worthy woman. I just feel like, you know, we all go through things and we experiment people and things, as that's what life is about, experimenting, going through things. I don't think that because you're with XYZ, you're not worthy of being loved or in a healthy relationship.
And so my only pushback is, because I like to challenge. I don't like to agitate, but I like to challenge. So I'm not saying this to agitate you guys at all, because I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your vulnerability. I believe that vulnerability is a gift that you can give someone to share and be transparent. I believe that in transparency, there is transformation. So that being said, what you just said, right? That you experiment, that you live life a certain way, culture seems to be moving this way, so you move with culture. You have friends that, you know, had their journeys with relationships. You have friends that slept around. I've slept around. We all slept with people, right? We're a little bit older now, right?
Yeah.
Up until this point, right? Do you think still living in that mentality where, you know what, I'm still looking for my partner, I'm still looking for my other half, I'm still looking, and you're still going to apply all these things that you do, what makes you think that the applications that you're going to continue doing is going to yield a successful relationship?
Well, I think now, you know, I'm basically 27 years old. I think that now, you know, I've been through it all, and I feel like now I'm at a point in my life where I know where I want to be. I know the kind of woman that I am, and I'm in a different mindset of, I'm not just going to give myself to anybody, because not everybody deserves that.
Right.
And I've worked way too hard, and I've healed way too much to just throw all of that away with just anybody that I meet out or anywhere. You know, I feel like as a woman, my body, my mental space, my energy is very valuable to whoever I'm going to give it to.
Absolutely. That's good.
No, that's how I feel. I feel like if I mean, I don't know, it might be a little different, because I feel like if I loved myself like I do now, I would have took a step back and not try to have like sex with whoever I was dating.
Right.
Now I'm just more like, I feel like now, because I went through it not too long ago. Like I've been single for like 5 months, but I went through my past like a few weeks ago, and I kind of got into it, but then I realized that just wasn't it. Like if it was just gonna be that, then it just wasn't for me. I'm not just gonna have sex with you just because I love you. And no, I'm sorry, if there's no purpose, if we're not working things out, we're not trying to do things the right way, then I don't need to sleep with you. I just have to move on, block you if I have to, but you're just not going to use me just for that. Because I love myself way too much just to do that.
Absolutely.
Fact, like I said, it's not everything. It is important, but not like that.
So what if like you meet the guy, right? And probably you guys are probably going to know where I'm going with this. But let's say you meet the guy. You meet this guy. He's easy on the eyes, but you could also see what his attributes and his virtue is. Like you can see the inside as well, right? And he checks every single box, right? He's going to check every single box. And he commits to you. But then he turns around and says, I don't want to have sex till we get married. What would you say?
I'll wait. I don't care.
You would really
I'll
wait?
wait, yes.
You would wait?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So knowing those facts, like knowing that, right? Why is it that you're so willing to wait for sex when it's proposed that way, but you're not willing to wait for sex when it's the other way
I just
around.
feel like it's so hard to find somebody like that.
Right.
But you're speaking that from
Right. You know what?
But you're
You're
speaking that from no. I'm just trying to be real with you, and I don't
I
want.
just think it makes it easier.
Listen,
just because you know that's the right thing to do.
I've gone to therapy for 2 years, so I'm gonna turn into a therapist because I like to play with your brains a little bit.
I like this.
So what you just said, you spoke out of a place from pain. So you spoke from trauma.
Okay.
So you're speaking from trauma. So what you're literally saying is that you're projecting that it's going to be hard and you're never going to meet someone that's worth you saving your vagina for. That's essentially what you're saying. But you just said to me 30 seconds ago, if he checked all the boxes, you're willing to wait. So why not walk in faith? Because the Bible says when we walk, we should walk by faith, not by sight.
You're right.
Right? So I would urge you to genuinely and this is homework for you guys tonight. Like genuinely, like really consider, like genuinely consider, okay, now I know this. Now I know that I am willing to wait for marriage, but why can't I wait for marriage when the chips are stacked against me, when culture's telling me other things? You know what I'm saying? So I think when you project out of a place from pain and out of a place from trauma, you're projecting those things onto the next situation. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of going half-assed a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But because at the end of the day, I know what's right. Yeah, obviously, being a virgin until you're married, that's the right thing to do, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But it's just really hard to find somebody who would understand that that's the right way to do. Now, if you do find somebody who has that mentality, like I wouldn't mind waiting. You know, like obviously, like we said, sex is very. Like,
but I don't think that you're exempt from meeting that person, though.
I don't know. It's hard. Like you said, nowadays it's really hard to find.
Me and Tyler are perfect
that
examples
one
of that.
person. It's just hard. I mean, even if you see that person walking by and you don't have that connection, you just.
But look, so statistically, right? Like you're in front of, because I think that sometimes your mentality is based from made up numbers, like, oh, everybody's doing it, or it's hard to find that person. It's hard, but like you're in a room full of two guys, right?
Yeah.
That is currently in a healthy relationship and currently on a journey to wait for marriage because he's who he is, and his soon-to-be wife is who she is, and they come to an agreement that if we're gonna honor God, we're gonna do X, Y, Z. I didn't think that I was ever gonna find someone that can wait. You know what I'm saying? But I did. Yeah. You know, it's not a magical pill that him and I took and we found that person.
Yeah, but that's like saying, oh, every guy is the same. I don't believe it. Every guy is the same. I'm sure there's really good guys out there. Just because I've been through so much and I've been so like hurt, or I've been through, just like I said, so much.
But you are willing. But you are willing to wait, though.
If it comes to, yes.
Okay, good job.
Your card's full.
Oh, is it? But we're almost done.
Just one thing real quick on that. Like most of the time, the guy who's actually going to give you all that is a guy that you most of the time will never look at. They're the guys that when you go out with your girls,
that's the one that we
Hold
never
on.
want.
Right by him.
Is that the good guy?
That's the one that we
Is that the
never
good
want.
guy?
Sometimes it is. Like there were many times where even I myself kind of went out and was like with like just a couple friends, and I walked by some girl. I'm like I would love to go talk to this person, but I know they would be like, "What? You're creepy, bro. Get away from me." But then too, it's like I see those women chasing men who are going to, in the end, treat them like crap.
They're bad for you.
They're going to be terrible for you. But you're still walking right past the guy who will be the one who will treat you like a queen.
Yeah.
You know, but
and
also
I feel
be
like
God
there's plenty of men that will love to treat us the right way.
Oh yeah, there's
but
so
it's
many.
It's just like we're like in our healing process to the point where like, okay, we know you're a good guy, but it's like I don't want to hurt you. Like I know I'm not ready to give you like my all.
Hold on, is it you who's going to hurt him, or you going to punch him? Yeah.
Well, at this point, I feel like I'll be the one to hurt that person just because I feel like I'm not ready to give you my all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then again, yeah, I feel like
Which
that's how I feel like.
which is very healthy, which I applaud you for. But then I'll also kind of encourage you. If don't. And I want to say this in a very respectful way because I think you two are awesome and you guys have been strong, very strong coming on here because it's intimidating coming on a podcast, right? Talking to thousands of people, talking to thousands of people who some of them, let's be honest, are probably going to slide into your DMs after this. Like let's just but also when you meet the guy who, when God puts on your heart that this is the one for you. Don't let the past be a crutch, because realistically, your past is supposed to propel you forward. It's not supposed to be a thing that keeps you back. Like, look, again, your past is in your rearview mirror. That's why the rearview mirror is like this, and the windshield is like this. Because you're supposed to be looking forward. Yeah. And all the blessing that God has for you, everything that, like moving forward. Mm-hmm. So yes, you still need that time to heal, which is 100%.
But I'm very open. Like if it comes my way and like I see it and there's a connection, like I'm so open for it. Like even if I have been single for the past 5 months, but if I see that you're like this person that I've been praying for, like I'm so open. I'm not closed as in like, oh, I've been so hurt that every guy's the same. No. Mm-hmm. I'm open because I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be loved. Well, I feel like I should already be happy and that person should be adding happiness to your happiness, myself. Yeah. But then again, it's like I deserve it. Like I deserve to be loved. I deserve to get married. I did maybe have another kid. I always thought like no more kids or whatever. But I feel like once I feel like I'm in love again, I get married, I'm with the right person, we have our home, we love God, then I feel like I'll be open to have another kid.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right.
That's actually impressive.
That is.
Normally, and sometimes I've seen this a lot, normally when people have kids from previous relationships, they're like 50 to 70 times more likely to not have a child in the next relationship. Yeah. Even though the next relationship is usually better, they're much less likely for someone to actually say that is actually incredible.
No, trust me, like for many, like I could say maybe 4 years, I have told myself like no more kids, and everybody that I date, I'm like, okay, I'd rather you have a kid because I don't want to have no more kids. Mm-hmm. But I got to the point where it's like, let me be real with myself. Like if I fall in love, if I'm with the right person, we get married, we have our stuff together, and that person wants to have I'm sure I would want to have a baby with that person too. I'm not going to close that door anymore. And it's different because I have told everybody that I don't want any more kids, but I know deep inside if I do find that person, it's going to flow. And if God wants it, then who knows? God will baby number 2.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think God will bless it because, again, I think that as we navigate through it all, and we do the right thing, because like, again, going back to scripture, right? Like sometimes scripture can get confusing. Sometimes scripture can be an ancient thing, because I looked at it as like, oh, this doesn't really apply to me, and I don't know if this is going to be applicable in 2022, 2023, whatever the case may be. But then like when you do see the fruits of it, when you surround yourself with people who are having successful marriages, like the people that I know in my church and things like that, and they have successful marriages, and they're having successful relationships, and doing life with Tyler, who I love very, very much, and and like doing life with Ty, like dang, like wow, like Tyler, he's a great example of like the man that I want to be, and I'm sure he sees me and he sees like the struggle that I came up with the stuff that I went through in my previous situation, and he's seen the growth in me, and he's like, wow, like that I could take a page out of that too. Like we learn from one another, we encourage one another, and I think as long as you have like accountability, and you're willing to be held accountable, I think it is a reachable goal. It is a reachable goal to wait, because both of you guys respectfully said that I would be willing to wait. It's just that sometimes when it's reverted and served in a different scenario, you would say no, sex isn't the most important thing, but you know what I'm saying. So if it's served in a different way, why the pushback? But when it's served in a perfect framed picture, then you'll be willing to wait. At the end of the day, you're willing to wait.
Yeah.
And I think if you just navigate there and stay there for a little bit, I think God can reveal some things to you, and He'll bless you. He'll bless you. He'll give you revelation. He'll give you maybe a different perspective on how to treat certain situations that may come up. Because I think you're currently single, but you're open to getting into a meaningful relationship. Nothing casual, obviously.
Right.
Something serious.
No.
Nothing with the guys for the dick.
No.
If you're not trying to wipe me up, then you gotta go.
No.
I'm sorry.
For anyone who can't see it, both y'all's phones have been going off, and every single thing has been Instagram, DMs, the what comments, what.
You're so popular, Nana. You're so popular.
Both of you. And
I don't
I've
open
seen
none of
those
them, I'm
comments
sorry,
those
I
guys
don't.
have made. Again, I don't know Spanish.
Like, I don't
Oh
know.
no,
But
I mean,
there's
I
some
don't know if you noticed, but I don't really open like.
yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
think
sorry. I just gave a bunch of guys some hope, so I apologize for that. So if you get some more DMs soon, just send them my way.
Hey, my name is Tyler, and
Hey,
I'm a youth pastor.
I opened a few pictures, nothing weird.
nothing weird.
no, I think
Sorry, nothing too weird.
Nothing too weird.
no, I think going through those DMs or those messages or whatever is a reminder. There is men out there that will value you, will kiss the ground that you walk on. I feel like, yes, that's a reminder as a woman, but, as a woman, you know what you want. You know the type of man that you want. Regardless of anything that I've been through, that we've been through,
Yeah.
I still believe in love. And I know that I will find what I want, and that will find me also.
And that's a
And we
huge
don't really need
W.
a man to tell us that we're beautiful. Like, we know
Right.
we're beautiful
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
out. As long as you know and you're confident and like you love yourself
Yeah.
and you love your body, I think that's
But-
a kind of like when you love your body, you're supposed to wait till marriage.
Mhm.
But then again, well, you know more than me.
What's that supposed to mean?
But no, I follow what you're saying. What you're saying is essentially,
It's a very tricky.
because with
thing.
self-love and self-care, you're caring for yourself, you're loving yourself. I think when you start loving yourself and caring for yourself, your value for yourself increases.
Right.
So because of that value and you're valuing yourself, I think that you're not going to expect anything less from the opposite sex. It's like, hey, like you could smell a fake from far away. When you're at that point where you love yourself, you know your worth, you are confident in who you are, you're fully healed, you're not reverting back to your traumas and your hurts and your pains, and you're not soaking around, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a confident woman. I mean, you know what you want. I think that when you're in that place, like, guys can see that. And you're going to attract the right guy when you are healed, when you are walking the way you are walking.
Women don't believe us, but like when you dress like modesty, you kind of just like guys almost want that. It's this weird, crazy cognitive thing.
Yeah.
Guys, but when even if it intimidates us, guys are attracted to the woman who's like, I am sure of who I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, confidence does go a long way. So if you
Absolutely.
ladies,
Not prideful.
yeah, but confident, yeah. So for the ladies that are listening, if you guys still find yourself, kind of dealing with heartbreak, there's still hope. She said it very, very, very beautifully. Never give up on love. I tell everybody, like, no matter how bad of the crappy end of the stick you got in life, especially in relationships, no matter how bad you got it, don't give up on love.
Yes.
Absolutely don't give up on love, because I think when you have hopes for love, it just puts you in a better position for you to actually find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually find someone that's worth hanging out with, that's worth giving your time to, and ultimately, in the covenantal agreements of a marriage, it's worth giving your body to.
Yes.
I think that's the ultimate goal, because we want to have successful relationships and successful marriages. We don't want to be a statistic. Like, we don't want to get married and then 3 years later get a divorce.
But then again, like, you don't really know what's gonna happen. Like, I actually thought I was gonna end up with my ex like forever. Like, I thought I was gonna marry him. He's actually a good guy.
Yeah.
And But I have learned that even a good guy could break your heart.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to close the door, because I know who I am and I know what I deserve.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you just gotta, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of tricky, because like even when you love yourself and you know you're not supposed to go back, but you still go back and you kind of like hit yourself again, and then you realize like, hey, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be with this person. You have a bunch of anxiety. And it's like,
but but again, that's the entanglement.
Yeah.
When you get entangled with the wrong person, you start getting these anxieties. You start feeling these kind of things, like, because
especially if you're praying about it. Because I was praying about it. I was like, God, if this is not for me, like, make me feel uncomfortable, make me feel like I have anxiety. And that's exactly how I felt a few weeks ago when I went back to my past, thinking like, you know, I miss this person, like, I love this person, let me go back and see if we can kind of work things out. But then it got to the point where I was like, wait, this is not the person that I loved.
Yes.
You ever wondered how many times God rolled his eyes on you?
Oh my God. Yes.
He's probably
I'm sure his eyes are like stuck for me.
Yes.
It's like, oh, my daughter, what are you doing?
And I want to add to that. I feel like when you pray to God, God, show me this person is not for me. Get rid of all the people that are not for me in my life. You better be prepared, because God is going to answer your prayer in the person that you least expect it.
Yeah.
You know, like Nana, you know, I feel like as women, you know, you're so hung up on the potential, the idea of a person that you want them to be, and they're just not that for you. And, you know, I feel like if, like she said, if God wanted this person to be for you, you wouldn't have anxiety, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have that. And, you know, some people are meant to be either a blessing or a lesson. And I feel like no matter how much you try to go back and, you know, see the good in this person, because I went through it too, you know, we were on and off, and, you know, you tried to mend something that you once had, and it just, you know, didn't work out. And you have to, once again, let go and let God.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, just be prepared for God to answer those prayers for you, because it's going to be in the person that you least expected to, and your world is going to be shook.
And you might feel like that person is the one for you right there and then, but it's maybe not. Because like my dad is a Christian, and I feel like my dad had, you know, he had prayed so much for me to, like, you know, have a good man, have a man who loves God. And once I met my ex, he thought that was the man for me, and he would tell my ex-boyfriend like, hey, like, you're the guy that I've been praying for my daughter. But then again, here I am.
Yeah. I mean, but things happen, you know, and again,
but we got to keep going.
You got to keep going, because sometimes, again, and I don't like to like really pound this, because again, I don't want to be the guy that's judgmental, but like when you introduce sex into the relationship, it does complicate things a little bit, because now you're emotionally entangled with that person, not only emotionally, but you are also spiritually. Also, it's a physical thing. So then when it's like when that is introduced in a relationship, when you know it's not supposed to be introduced in a relationship, when you're not under the anointing of God, and you know it's not supposed to be navigated that way, there's reasons. All I'm saying is there's reasons why we find ourselves tripping over that same stone, and we find ourselves single over and over again, because we're again, it goes back to the puzzle piece. We're trying to do all these other things, right? We're trying to fit the puzzle piece in the bigger picture, but it's not fitting because we're trying to do it our way, culture's way. When again, the homework for tonight, literally, like, consider genuinely going and saying, okay, God, I've tried it so many different ways. You know what? I'm gonna try it your way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it, because that's what I did. And I ended up meeting the girl that I'm with now, and she is all for that. You know what I'm saying? She actually keeps me in check, because sometimes.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And sometimes, like, she checks me, because I'd be like, I just want to, you know, just one time.
You know what's crazy? Yeah. My dad used to tell me, like, you know,
y'all need to hang out with my girl.
The reason why your relationship didn't work is because you kind of like got away from God. You didn't bring God to your home, because we live together or whatever. And I truly believe that that's one of the reasons why my relationship didn't work. I feel like I kind of distanced myself from God, and then like a month before I actually moved out, I went back to church and went back to myself. Right. And I'm just like, maybe if I would have had God, but then again, this person wasn't really like godly, like God and church. So maybe
The Bible says you have to be evenly yoked with someone. If you're unevenly yoked,
I would have
with
loved
someone,
that. I would have loved that because I used to pray with my son every night, and then I kind of stopped because of just.
Y'all need to hang out with my girl.
Yeah,
Hang out with my girl.
Yes.
Hang out with my girl. My girl.
Girl.
My girl's gonna. She has a story. She'll tell you some things. So yeah, like we'll get that going because she's always willing to pour into other women. She likes to empower women, and
you need to bring her out here.
She doesn't like being in front of the camera. Aww. Baby, I love you. I know you're listening, but it is what it is.
Love her kids.
But yeah, this was amazing. I think you guys can come back for a part 2 because we're running out of time here.
Yes.
Unless we just want to film part 2 right now.
Yeah. No, I gotta go to bed, bro.
Me too.
Yeah. So, but thank you for just sacrificing the time. I know that it gets a little late sometimes when we're out here recording content, but I do appreciate your perspectives. I appreciate your take on everything. I believe that there's a lot of women out there that listen to your stories and listen to your takes that might be a powerful thing that may get them to, I don't know, start loving themselves, because there's a lot of women right now that don't know their value, they don't know their worth, and they're kind of stuck right now. And to see, two beautiful women talking about, the things that we talked about, I think that's a very liberating thing. So I do appreciate you speaking to the audience and empowering them and giving them, a little bit of hope that, love is a real thing and we shouldn't give up on it at the end of the day.
Right.
So thank you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. It was such a good time. And
all right.
Don't give up on love.
Don't give up on love, guys.
He deserved
Never.
it. And if he wanted to, he would. Okay?
Yes, let's go. And we're not going to read every single DM, so you guys have to DM them and find out.
Stop.
Just kidding. But
They don't need anymore.
yeah, I know, right? those phones are on fire. But
Over here.
But thank you guys for listening. Again, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't hit this the subscribe button, smash that subscribe button. Like the videos, share the stuff. I'm gonna have these girls be my advocates. You better share my stuff when
Absolutely.
it definitely helps with the algorithm. I'll leave all the links on the descriptions below. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in. Till next time, peace.